Welcome to Beer Money Pulling Team. Sit down, shut up, and hang on. Every Monday night, Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. If it's happening in pulling, we're talking about it. Charles Poosh, Jason Schultz, Ryan Rusink, Gregg Randall, Executive Director of the NTPA. Tonight, guys, we're going to get highlights of the 2023 season from the major polling associations. Gregg Randall's our first guest for the first 20 minutes, and then we have Ron Stone from the Outlaws, and then John Mears from the Pro Polling League. So, Greg, what's happening with the NTPA? How's 2023 looking?
Well, it's shaping up to be pretty darn awesome. We've got 73 events, which I would consider confirmed, and we got one that's supposedly making a decision here fairly soon. So that's up a little bit from last year, and some new events sprinkled into some obviously a lot of bucket list events for a lot of the fans out there that they'd like to attend someday. So. Hey, it's going to be a great season. We've already had one event in Ocala, Florida. We're getting ready for the NTPA Spring Nationals at the MEC in Shipshewana, Indiana. And the lineup's kind of in flux a little bit. We've had a couple of cancellations as of today, but we've also, are hopefully adding a couple of pieces to the roster. So should be a lot of fun. There's a little carnage that came from the National Farm Machinery Show. And some have just pretty much verified, they're not going to be ready, but should be a great time nonetheless.
Brad Caudell said he got your autograph in Ocala. #nerd. So.
Well, thanks, Brad. Yep, I had a lot of people. That's the neat thing about the job. 19 years coming up on the RFD show for the association, and a lot of people that recognize me from that, they'll come up and they'll say, "Hey, don't I see you on on the show?" And I'll say, "That's my fat twin brother," and then I'll say, "Yeah, that's me." So it's nice that people watch. If they kind of recognize me, that means they've been a long time watcher, because it's not like a reality show or a sitcom or something like that. We're at the beginning and at the end. Normally, that's it. So that's nice. And it's for the fans. It's been a great run if you think about it. I thought about it a lot. A lot of series don't last, I don't know how many years MASH ran, for example. That was probably, 11, 12 years. So it's kind of interesting that, it's lasted this long, and it's great to expose the NTPA brand.
Absolutely. Is my mic echoing really bad, guys?
Somebody's is, but I don't know who.
Okay, I muted Ryan because I thought it was him, and I feel like it's me when I talk. Charles, can you talk to Greg a little bit? And I'm going to mute myself.
Absolutely. So poking around on the website actually this evening, knowing you're going to be on, and one of the things I was looking at was live stream. I know for Shipshewana, you guys are going to cover that one. Is there a schedule yet, or kind of a feel for what ones are going to be streamed as we move into 2023?
Well, it's really interesting. We're in the contracting mode right now, so we have when the season ends, every event has 60 days to pay a date deposit to reserve their a spot 40 or 52 weeks later, rather. And with that said, that process in place. So a lot of times we know we're coming back to a venue, and that's just a matter of putting the contracts together. Fairs go through reorganizations, new board members, new event chairman for the entertainment and so forth. So we're still getting some of the contracts back in. I signed 3 today, 2 came in the mail at the end of the day. So a lot of that's, happening. So we're still tweaking classes. I know we did 3 changes today that may or may not have been updated. Some of it's as minute as time change. I know one place they are, I think it was Adrian, Michigan's a 3:00 start now. versus what we
those are
originally had.
Armada.
There we go. And then there's a lot of events in Michigan this year, which is a blessing. But anyway, we had, I know Centerville, Michigan, we got a small change on their lineup, and I got that text to me later in the afternoon. So things of that nature are all happening. So it's very fluid, and I'm the only one that holds the schedule, only because for us to make 4 or 5 updates and everybody stay. I mean, it's hard enough when John Dunlap does an excellent job, and Matt Steinmetz, they take this information and put it out. There's a lot of changes. There's more changes to the schedule than there are events. I mean, we got 73 confirmed, and I bet we'll have 75 changes when you look at class changes, like Rose went to Superstack Diesel Trucks as a Grand National class and dropped, sorry, Jason, the Limited Pros. And then we've got, when he's talking to Farley a little bit, they were talking about light mod, then took light mod out. I'm talking a couple other events about adding a couple classes, and it's still to be determined. So until we get to, I would say this year, maybe April 1, there may be some things still in fluctuation. And there, yeah, and the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals, we're proud to be sanctioning that this year. Had a pretty comprehensive meeting down at the farm show with Mike Ott, who's representing Mike Connie as the kind of the go-to person, event chairperson. And so we're really looking forward to that. Tickets will be going on sale relatively soon. There's some legal obligations, as I understand it, with the facility, so those tickets are a little later than what they would maybe like to see it, but still, it's going to be a great show. Should be a raucous atmosphere.
I'd heard they were going to possibly turn the track around this year and do it the same way Farm Show does now.
That's what I've been told. It will go the same direction as the Farm Show track, yes. And so there's I'm still waiting to see all the roster there. I've got some of it, but I know I emailed today if they had any updates, and we're still kind of awaiting that. But no, it should be good. We'll have the live stream at that one as well.
Cool.
Sounds like it's going to be the biggest person pulling, I think, 25,000 a class, Greg. Am I right on that?
I think it's at least that, and I believe that's 10,000 to win for each class. So
yeah, that's all unconfirmed, but that's kind of what I've been hearing, Greg, from people in the know. So
right, and really, when we got down there, we put ink to paper down there. So still a few things we're working through, but there's some some different challenges there. But really, we were all custom that Freedom Hall for many years. A lot of the same players are going back and working, so that certainly helps facilitate a successful event. So we're really looking forward to that event. That should be a lot of fun.
If anybody has any questions for Gregg Randall about the NTPA in 2023, please type it into the chat. Greg, as the executive director of the NTPA, what's it mean for you to go to like a farm show, a non-sanctioned event where the best of the best from all the different associations are there? What is your goal? Kind of what is your attitude heading into an event like that?
Well, I think one of the things that I think is really interesting is some of the plans that you hear a little rumor mill, this is happening, that's happening. A lot of times you can get that confirmed. A lot of information is exchanged. It's interesting. Every year there seems to be a little bit of a theme. And so this year, I think it was the whole announcement of the full pool bets coming into the sport. And so I think that was the intriguing part of things.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that 100%. And Craig Ledwig's new Pro Stock, the Fent Pro Stock, blew up the internet. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice pieces out there. I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable.
Greg, and I don't want to get into full pull bets too much tonight. Yeah. We did that last week a lot. There's a lot of ambiguity right now because Chase can't really come on and explain stuff until we get through the Gaming Commission. But from the NTPA, a high level, with legalized sports wagering coming to pulling, how does the NTPA feel about it? And I know you're excited, Greg, because I've had multiple conversations with you, but if you could kind of share with everybody, I think the biggest concern is that money's not going to go back to the pullers and the associations. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit as the NTPA?
Yeah, it's just like everything else. Until it starts rolling, it's hard to exactly say what it will all mean. But yeah, there is a stream that is coming our way. So how we work that, I'd like to work it through the events to get to the pullers. Maybe we build some events, bigger, more sessions, that sort of thing. This is an atmosphere that can happen with or without us. And I think the three organizations were savvy enough to see that what's going to happen with or without you. When you're involved, at least you have some skin in the game and can help in certain areas keep things, maybe keeping them, intact the way a lot of the concerns are from a lot of the folks, and it's the people that are involved. I've known the Richardsons for a long time. With Chase, feel comfortable with that. They had a group that presented to the board, the WPI board, and it got approved. So that's kind of the first step. So it's been quite a journey for them. I know that. So we'll just continue to watch it unfold. But I think the integrity and so forth of the sport will be intact. I truly feel, because that's concern on everybody's part, and it isn't lost on our office at all.
Greg, what Grand National events did you guys add this year off the top of your head? Is Benson NTPA this year?
Benson is back, yes, and we're looking forward to that event. We've had some communications, farm show, actually a little bit in phone tag, I think it was, or email tag. There's so many ways to communicate now. It's hard to keep track sometimes.
Yeah, you have to check your text, your Facebook Messenger, your email, your Snapchat. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Your phone, your work phone. The voicemail goes to my email. Your regular phone, and I always tell people, if you call and you don't get me, either A, leave a message, or better, text, because I get messages in threes. And it might be a day, and then all of a sudden 3, bang, and I'm like, how did I miss that one? But yeah, Benson, we're looking forward to being back there. Farley, I know this, I believe, is their 4th year. I think the pandemic might have been the 4th year.
Bruce would know better than me on that.
Yep, that'll be the 4th show.
Yep. So,
and Greg, I gotta tell you, you're in for a treat. That track is something else.
Yeah, well, I know quite a bit about the situation where Jim Miller's been going out there and building the track since, I think, the first year of it, and he's had great reports coming back. I've heard from the pullers, so yeah, we're looking back to see that. And yeah, Bennett, I was in meetings all day, believe it or not, and then we're going over our financial stuff, so I got that to look forward to after we hang up. I'm going to be looking through some of that here, because we got our meetings a little earlier this year than the last few. So anyway,
for people that don't know, Ben is part of the Benson, North Carolina poll, so that's where he's kind of having a little fun with Randall right now. So I enjoy that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're working with Dan Schroyer. He's an announcer. He is in the midst of selling sponsorship for us, and we have something we're looking forward to maybe hearing something. We were actually hoping to hear something during the farm science show, or farm machinery show. So we will see if we have something here in the next week or two.
I was going to ask you. I mean, you guys made some moves last fall strategically with bringing the Delanskys in and whatnot, trying to boost that. So I was wondering if you had maybe something up your sleeve coming.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, the thing with the Delanskys, we've both gone on that situation, but Dan Schroyer had kind of been interweaving a little bit, talking about how he could help us. We're working on building a website, and Dan has a lot of talents, and he was a national officer of the FFA, and he's got a multitude of contacts. And after the season, he says, we really could, my contacts and my experience could really help with with the association. So we're looking forward to that. And virtually, we spent last Monday and this Monday at a whiteboard writing down all the things that we can do in the sponsorship realm. And Dan, he gets it. So we're looking really forward to him moving forward and going after some sponsorship.
Good deal.
Greg, Shane Hunt's asking, any Southern events?
Well, if you're looking at Florida, we got a couple in Florida. If you're looking toward the Carolinas, we got a couple of those still coming back. Would like to do more in that Tennessee. Shane, we talked about maybe doing something down there, so maybe something will come about. But, it's interesting. Everybody is always concerned about the economy and that sort of thing. And I think our whole program it's comparably speaking to concerts and racing and football, professional football, the ticket prices are going up and up and up. And in our sport, they have stayed relatively flat. I mean, they go up, but I mean, it's not double, in some of these other cases that they go up quite a bit percentage wise. So I think that helps us, but there's a little intrepidation, I feel, with the fuel prices and what all is happening in the world. You kind of wonder, but the nice thing about our sport, we play smaller places. It attracts a lot more rural base. And again, just touching a little bit, again, going back to the full pool bets thing, the one thing that is exciting that if you think about this part, it will set a lot of different eyes to the sport that have never seen it. Some may say, not for me, but there may be a lot to say, wow, I never knew this existed. So there's some excitement from that aspect that could benefit all the pulling organizations for that matter. So, but yeah, it's every day is a little different day. Tomorrow I'll make a little road trip. We are trying to kind of find a headquarters for the NTPA, and we've been talking about this for about a year. So we're still exploring some of those things. So all these years of leasing office space, one day, we hope to break ground and say, this is our official home, this is our headquarters, and I hope to be part of that.
You're muted, Jason.
I thought maybe that was a 7-second delay. They dropped him out of there.
Yeah, Charles and Ryan have been trying to control me for years, Greg. So that's one way of doing it. We're running up on our 20 minutes, and when Charles and I were doing show prep yesterday, he's like, "Jason, you're crazy trying to put everybody on 20 minutes." But I think for this first, announcement like this, having all the big associations on one show like this, just want to give a nice high-level overview. So, Greg, if you could kind of wrap it up on what, you give us your 60-second commercial of the 2023 NTPA polling season. And obviously, as big announcements come out, we'll be there to help you broadcast them out there to the masses.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we certainly are looking forward to continuing our season. It's already kicked off in Florida, and it looks like we're going to have quite a few vehicles on our circuit. Coming through Farm Show, there's a lot of people that saying we're looking to maybe pull with you a little bit more. The schedule fits us a little better than before. But I always say to everybody, if we have an event, hope you can make it. We'd love to have you. If not, good luck to wherever you go. I wish both the organizations luck in this season. A safe season for all of us is a successful season in my book. And but you look at our schedule, circle a few places. Maybe you've got that event that you've always wanted to go to, and make it a bucket list. Hey, tomorrow's not given. Maybe this is the year to do that. So again, from all of our super national events to our regional events, some of our new events, there's several on the circuit. I'd hate to just start running them off for the risk of forgetting somebody, but quite honestly, I hope you make it out to a lot of events, have some fun, bring some friends, bring some new people if you can, and let's go play.
Can you see the screen, Greg? Can you see Travis's question?
Yes, I heard S&S Plumbing is throwing in the money for that.
Well played, sir. Very well played.
And then
that Travis, he's going to have a great announcing career after he hangs up the the fire gloves and the helmet, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to retire. He's gonna take everything.
And then I just want to say, I talked to Ricky and Julie Rose tonight, and they're bringing in the diesel super stock trucks instead of the 4-1 limited pros. I actually told them to pull the limited pros out. We did not support that like I really hoped our class would. And with that being a Grand National, I want them to have the highest level of pulling at that event, and we're really excited about that. And the track wasn't the greatest last year, and talking about somebody's pulling track is like talking about their wife. And but they brought some locals in, some excavators. They got some clay put into that track and dug it in and buried it and laid it in before winter. So Ricky's really excited about the track in 2023. So Greg, you're an amazing ambassador for the sport and the NTPA. Thanks for taking 20 minutes with us tonight. And I hope the Raiders get a quarterback. Okay. So.
Well, they're gonna have to try, that's for sure.
Yeah, show us
hey, Jason, just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Greg, thank you for your time, and we'll
Thanks,
talk to you
guys.
soon.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
Greg, good to see you again.
All right. Well, our first 20 minutes is down. Now we're bringing on Ron Stone, Vice President of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. And I truly feel like this is a history-making show for us tonight. Very, very proud that we get to highlight the three major associations, talk about 2023 pulling season, bringing in the leadership to talk about what's going on. Ron, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. How are things looking, buddy, for the 2023 Outlaw season, bud?
Well, before we get started on that, I have to say I don't have a problem with the NTPA, but bringing on a Raiders fan before a Chiefs fan, I have a problem with that. I'm just saying, the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Can you please point Ron to the complaint department for me, sir?
Yes, I sure can. Here, let me help you with that.
How's it going, guys?
Really good. Really excited to have have all the major associations tonight talk about the 2023 polling season with a positive light. Polling is alive and as well, and just want to hear from everybody. The one thing I noticed, Ron, right away, you brought some semi trucks in this year. I saw Kevin Davis posted about Wayne, Nebraska. I didn't know the Outlaws were gonna have any semi trucks this year.
Yeah, we're calling it the Limited Pro semi truck class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roots, is that like Diesels and Dark Corners? Are those 4-1 guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's very similar. We're putting a 4.6 charger limit, water injection. Working with Richard Darr out of Jerseyville, Illinois on it. He has a couple of trucks.
That's a good guy to work with.
He's a good guy.
I was just texting him literally minutes before we come on the show here. But, yeah, Kevin said he messaged me today. They made that graphic to put up for the Wayne County Fair, and he said they're getting a lot of phone calls and responses out of that. So we're expecting big things.
I didn't know, Ron, that you had such a killer singing voice. You really crushed it at the farm show.
Yeah, I was about to say, before we get too deep into the 23 season, let's talk about how you kicked ass 2 nights in a row.
I appreciate it, guys.
Nicely done, sir.
I've done the national anthem. I can't tell you how many times at outlaw events and different tractor pulls for years. And I have to say that was probably the most nervous I've ever been to do the national anthem.
I hope you were nervous, Stone. So
you didn't show it.
No, my knees were literally shaking just moments before. And I was thinking to myself, why are your knees shaking? You've done this before. But I got through it, and it was kind of intimidating to look out there, and the flag was directly above me, and it looks like all 18,000 are staring right at you. And not only that, but the Jumbotron, the camera, they told me to stare into that camera, and it's like you're looking at yourself on the screen. So that kind of makes you nervous too. So, but no, I pulled it off. It went off without a hitch, and went good. It was a great farm show to add to that. Gosh, what an awesome National Farm Machinery show it was this year.
Oh, show. So what's new coming with the Outlaws for the season? We talked about trucks being added on, but as an organization, schedule-wise, what's shaping up for you guys like?
Yeah, man, we're kicking it off first weekend of June in Sedalia, Missouri, then off to the races we go. We're going to go all the way through late October, where speaking of semi-trucks, we'll end our season completely down in Lufkin, Texas, at a big truck show / tractor pull drag race
Pulling in the
concert
pines?
type event down there. Tanner, yes, we will. We will be in Britt, Iowa. Absolutely.
One thing I wish we would ask Randall and Charles and Ryan. We got to get better when we have these. But I wonder how many states the NTPA are in. Like how many states they represent. I'd be curious. I didn't prep the guys for this at all. I don't expect anybody to have that off the top of their head. But that would kind of be a neat, a neat trivia question for everybody. Like how many states an NTPA has, or PPL, or the Outlaws, because you guys are covering a lot of ground, Ron, now. So
yeah, we are. I mean, when you say that, that's kind of a trick question. Last year we were in Colorado. This year we're not. But, of course, we'll be in South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas, primarily in those states. Gosh, I mean, you guys have seen the schedule. Some folks are calling it an Ironman schedule for some of the classes because there's so many hooks. We are bringing some pretty exciting things in with great sponsors like Holganics Midwest. Going to be doing a sweep in July. And there's the graphic there, the 14th through the 29th. 16 cities, $25,000. Going to 5 classes. Somehow we got a 5th class cut off there.
Yeah, I got the scroller on the bottom. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Go.
Light limited pros there. Starting in Troy, Missouri, ending in Lamars, Iowa, and Warrensburg, Missouri. And I say both those because those are on the same night. They're on the 29th of July. Pretty cool deal, though. I mean, a points race within a points race, and we're talking about potentially doing another one, late in the season in the fall. And we've also got the Big Smoke Shootout, which we don't have anything up for that yet. I think actually Cody Vanderholm is working on Vanderholm Media is working on the graphics for that. That will encompass 2 pools early in the season in Whitewright, Texas, and that pool called Thunder and the Lone Star, as well as Thunder in the Valley, Rock Valley, Iowa. So 4 hooks for the Diesel Super Class. They're between 2 pools early in the season, and a couple sponsors putting up some big money for that. I'll get you those sponsors here in just a moment. I know one is your buddy out in Western Kansas. I just want to get the name of his shop correct. Jason, your favorite Diesel Super?
Doug Meisinger.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
I actually don't know the name of Doug's shop, to be honest. So
yeah, I should know it, to be honest with you. But yeah, High Plains Performance and Golden Ribbon Transport right now, and I think possibly Extreme Performance Tire Cutting could be a sponsor in that as well.
I love it. Just joining us, we're talking with Ron Stone, Vice President of the Outlaws. He's got 10 more minutes on the clock. And Charles, Ryan, and I are interviewing the leadership of the top 3 organizations in the United States of America for truck and tractor pulling. Gregg Randall joined us for the first 20 minutes. Ron's joining us now. John Mears is going to come on in approximately 10 minutes, talk about Pro Pulling League. So Ron, just, the Holganics thing, obviously I help you with Outlawed Live on Tuesday nights, but can you touch upon Holganics a little bit and what they're doing given that? Can you talk about that a little bit? What the promoters think that's super cool.
Yeah, we can talk about it. They've been, sure. Yeah. I think what they're doing is they're fully engaged with us, and they're saying they want to help us if we can help them and just give them a platform. And basically, they'll get a hold of, our promoters, and I've helped with some of those, getting those promoters in touch. And they'll call farmers from around the area and set up a meeting, maybe at the local town hall or, a city center there. There's Cody Vanderholm. And basically, they just tell them what the product is. And they say, if we sell this much product, if you reach this one milestone, we'll give you $10,000 worth of product or $10,000 for your event here in your hometown here. If you reach the next milestone, they'll give, another $10,000. So I know Rock Valley, Iowa has talked to them. Rock Valley, Iowa is doing this, several other events, Whitewright, Texas, even. And it's really working out. And the product, they have a lot of big name customers that swear by the product. So And of course, I know Kurt's very adamant about this. If a product doesn't work, if it's not a proven product, we won't even take them on as a sponsor. So, but they're all pulling fans. They're doing great things for pulling and have a proven product. So it's a win-win.
It's good stuff. I just think it was neat to hear, that's always the biggest challenge, Ron, every year is like, how do we get more sponsors? How do we get more people involved in the sport? And I just thought that was pretty neat. Like they were just coming out and saying it. You help us, we'll help you, bang. And for a promoter to get an extra 10 grand, that's huge. Charles, what you could do with Armada with another 10 grand, you know what I mean? That'd be awesome. So,
yep. We wouldn't be doing a regional. We'd be doing a grand national.
Yep. And Randall's not trying to step on your 20 minutes, Ron, but he did message me and said that the NTPA is in 14 states. So I just want to
gotcha.
Put that up there. We can give you an extra 30 seconds, Ron. I can cut Randall short next time.
Well, I get to cut into John's time. Then you're saying how we
we can have a little bit of fun with that. So Dave Nelson just texted me and says the Young Guns sign up deadline is tomorrow. Ron, can you touch on the Young Guns a little bit and what that's done to the Outlaws?
Oh, Young Guns program, awesome program. We started it kind of we kicked it off on this show, Jason, to be honest.
Yes, we did.
I mean, I just kind of hung the name on our young pullers. I noticed we had a lot of young pullers. I mean, a lot of them were between 16 to 18, but we kicked off this program and these kids have just ran with it. This Young Guns program. We've had a lot of contributions from Titan Tire. They've gotten fully involved with the program, donating money to different states' FHAs, which they've been presenting these checks at the polls. And of course, we're looking to get the youth involved in any way we can. And these young kids, as we all know, are more in tune with TikTok and all the social media. I mean, Jason, you're good at it. I mean, we're all involved in it, but the kids could still show us a thing or two. But they have all the connections. And if we could reach out to folks that aren't necessarily connected with the ag industry, and draw some new folks into the sport, I mean, I think that's everybody's goal. We want to see this thing live on long beyond our time. And I think the Young Guns program is definitely a step in that direction. Not to mention the fact that you have pullers that have been pulling for years that the kids may not have been involved so much. And now they've got a way in and they feel accepted and they're involved. And then the whole family gets revved up about pulling again. And that's kind of what we want to see too. You're muted, Jason.
Muted again, Jason.
This is great.
Thanks, Bruce. With the FFA donations, Ron, if you could touch on, I don't remember exactly how they worked. I remember taking some pictures of them, but I felt like some local, like the Outlaws matched some dollar amounts with some FFA. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, the Young Guns and Titan Tire would match funds and present a check to the local FHA in each state. We did awesome program. I mean, it took off. It absolutely took off. And you can see when the kids are out there throwing the T-shirts and stuff, they're all just smiling like crazy. And then the young kids just look up to them. I mean, look at the Iowa State Fair, the little kiddie tractor pull we had. Jason, how many people were there? I mean,
it was 250, 300
insane.
kids. It was
insane,
crazy.
But what a way to promote truck and tractor pulling. These little kids see these bigger kids basically that are tractor pulling. They want to know, hey, what is this all about? And it's just a way to get them in there and get them in the seats and gain some more fans.
Yep. Good. Any questions? Ron's on the clock for 6 more minutes here tonight with Let's Grow Pulling Live. Again, we're highlighting the 3 major associations tonight. Gregg Randall, Executive Director of the NTPA, was our first guest. And now we have Ron Stone, Vice President of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers. And then John Mears is going to join us here in a few minutes after Ron talking about the Pro Pulling League. Ron, what would you say has been the biggest growth vehicle, or what class are you seeing most requested from your promoters say the last couple of years, Ron?
I'm going to say limited pro stock, two-wheel drive, and of course the mods. Those are requested a lot. Of course, you're talking, the upper tier classes there. Those are, our most expensive classes, as far as that goes. unlimited super stock, which we call it light super stock now. And that one gets requested a lot. And we're trying to bring in some new classes, the semis, for example. We're trying to bring back the light limited super stocks, and really trying to push the 3.0 diesel pickups and, light pro. I think we have more hooks with light pro this year than we've had in years past. That class starting to grow a little bit here in the Midwest. And, that light pro class, not that it can't stand on its own, because it absolutely can, but people are so apt to take that big pro class. They want that big pro class. If we've got too many hooks in that big pro class, I want to try to offer that light pro class and say, here you go. Here's an alternative. It's a pro stock. It's a lighter weight, smaller cubic inch, but more RPM, more tire speed. So trying to give more alternatives to the promoter, so we don't wear these other guys out, wear their equipment out.
I think that's the hardest thing as a promoter, and Randall's talked about that, and trying to have enough hooks for everybody, Ron, to keep the pullers happy, keep your promoters happy, and different things like that. So, any rule changes this year in the Outlaw Light Pro class?
The Light Pro, no, not that I don't think we had any rule changes at all there, specifically for that class.
Yeah, I think, and Corey's a Badger State puller.
He's referring
and I think,
to
yeah, he's probably talking about the Silver Series, allowing the component checks in. We'll talk about that with Mears a little bit when we get him on the show. So I'm going to bring up the schedule quick here, Ron. You just keep chatting, buddy.
Yeah, so Greg and I did not coordinate our hat selection before the show, by the way. I noticed he was wearing the same hat.
Yes, you did. Don't lie.
But you don't have a Raiders hat.
No, never, ever have I owned a Raiders hat. Never, ever.
Greg does not pay a lot for those hats, by the way. Greg's in the green room right now, putting his Raider hat up on the thing. So it's kind of funny. Kicking it off here. Ron, the one thing, and I ran points with the Outlaws last year, and the one thing I've heard from other associations that come and pull pullers from PPL or for NTPA, the Outlaw app. The Outlaw app is awesome. The Outlaw app is the bomb. Can you, for those pullers and fans that don't know what the Outlaw app is, can you give us a high-level overview of the app?
Yeah, the Outlaw app is there not only for the fans, but it's there for the pullers as well. Pullers love it because there's directions to the events there. If it's a new event, we'll give directions directly to the pit gate. That way, these huge semis and toter homes aren't driving around town trying to find the correct gate and having to back, several blocks through town. Not saying that's the case everywhere, but it has happened. They can go directly to the pit gate if they use the app. They can also sign up for the event on the app prior to the event, days before getting there. That saves a little bit of time. That saves Lori and whoever the sign-up crew is, the secretary, saves them a little bit of time and headache to be able to sign up earlier. The app's also there for the fans. I mean, it gives the points standings during the season, up-to-date point standings. It gives up-to-date results, as the pull is going on, as well as results after the pull. The app is it's the bomb, to say the least. I mean, if you don't have the Outlaw app, there it is right there. You see it there. You can get it at the Google Play Store, download it. We also have the Heartland division on there as well. Very cool, useful tool we have with the Outlaws.
Tammy Morris says the Outlaw app is the best. So
I will second that. That thing is fantastic.
That has come in very handy for both Cody and I on multiple occasions during the summer.
What do you guys use it for primarily? For results or?
For results,
for looking
directions. I mean,
even when
see who's already registered.
Right. Yeah.
Even when you're in the pits and wanting to know, kind of what's going on, it's handy to know where we're at in the classes or anything like that. So, because I mean, you go to a lot of pits and they don't have speakers back there where their pullers can see, so they can follow along in the app to see where they're at, who's next, and stuff like that. So, it's been very beneficial, and I I kind of rely on that thing too much. So if we ever get to a place where there's no internet, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I use it for reference a lot myself. I use it all the time. If I'm writing an article or trying to find some information, I think, well, doggone it, and it's very easy. Just grab that phone and hit the app, and boom, you got your point standings or how they finished wherever. So yeah, it's a very useful tool.
So Lauren Paulson saw, I was rolling through the schedule. Who is Donnie that runs a sled? That's Donnie Bauer, right?
Donnie. Who is Donnie?
There's a Donnie on the schedule.
That'd be Donnie Bungart. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that tentative schedule has sleds on there as well, and I think they're just listed as Donnie or Kevin or whoever's running the sled there. Gary would be Red Rock or.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like to know what sleds are going to be there. So it's one good way of getting that out there. So, well, good deal. Well,
Yeah.
Mears just jumped on, Ron. So we're going to give us your 30, 60-second kind of high-level overview of the 2023 Outlaw season and how to find the Outlaws, and we're going to let you go.
Yep, you can find us on social media on Facebook, TikTok. Look us up at Outlaw Pulling. Look us up on the website at outlawpulling.com. If you want to watch live or watch archive footage from the last few years, you can go to outlawpulling.tv. Get a subscription there. Just want to invite everyone out this summer to come pulling. Whatever part of the nation you're in, if it's NTPA or your local brush pull, whether it's PPL or whether it's the Outlaws, you're going to have a good quality show. Hope to see a lot of people out this summer. I know it's going to be a busy one, and I'm sure I'm going to cross paths with a lot of you folks this summer. Charles, I've never crossed paths with you, I don't think, but I'm sure we'll see each other down the road here.
Still have yet to get to an Outlaws show. It's a little bit of a trek, but we'll make it happen sooner or later.
It's called house arrest. That's why. No, it's all
right, guys. So
Ron,
thanks for having
me.
Yeah,
Ron, thanks for taking 20 minutes. You can watch Ron every Tuesday night live on the Outlaw Facebook page, Outlawed with Ron Stone, just talking about weekly updates with all of that. So, Ron, have a good night. We're going to switch over to John Mears, okay?
Thanks, guys. Have a good show.
See you, bud.
So, here we go. John Mears. John, tell us what the last 4 months of your life have been like. I'm just teasing. How are you, buddy?
Good. Been busy. Lack of sleep a little bit.
Yeah, understood. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. We're pretty proud. The first show we've ever had, we've had all leaders from all three of the major associations just to kind of give us a high-level overview of the 2023 polling season. Obviously, John, huge announcements with Lucas Oil. I don't know how to say it, John. You're better at saying stuff like that, but basically pulling out, and then all the rumors that the Pro Pulling League was going to die. And I will tell you that the leaders of the Outlaws, and you know this already, John, but I want the fans to know this, that the NTPA, the leaders of the NTPA and the Outlaws do not want the Pro Pulling League to die. Okay. Everybody knows we all need three major associations to put on all the shows that are out there. And it really, I don't know. I don't want to say it unified everybody, John, but man, John, this has been the most interesting winter of polling I've ever seen in my life. So.
I think I've been in this thing 25 years, and it's been a fun and exciting wintertime, to say the least. It's been real busy with Lucas changing their platform of where they're at in polling. So they're still going to be a huge sponsor of the Pro Pulling League moving forward. They're shifting a lot of gears. They're transitioning on some of their marketing agendas, and that is fair to do. I mean, companies have been around. You've got to adjust to what's happening in the world.
Yeah, I agreed. So when you and Christy look at 2023, and I know it's been a whirlwind, what's your takeaway from it? And obviously you're on the show, Pro Pulling League's alive. What can you do there's certain people out there still that, it's not happening. And there's an ownership group, and I don't want to get into anything that you don't want to get into tonight, but please share with everybody watching, what is, where we're at with Pro Pulling League, and, is it still going to be awesome like it was before? I want you to dispel some of the rumors that we're hearing, John, out here.
Sure. Even before we had any of the news of what Lucas was going to do early on, we'd already made a mission of cutting back hooks for everybody, all 10 champion tour classes. We wanted to get into that 14 to 15 hook range, just because I think COVID taught everyone that they have a life outside of pulling a little bit. They want to go to the lake. They have kids in sports. They want to go to the cabin, whatever it might be. So we already had that. We've probably got 10 to 12 hooks for all the classes. I know the champion tour packets went out last week. So a lot of those are dropping in mailboxes over the weekend. Some maybe hit even today. So we're going to, start out in June and go all the way through Labor Day weekend, the way we've always, had a schedule.
Yeah, I got my email today about the Silver Series coming up. Looked like that's pretty stout this year. And then the announcement of the component chassis in the Light Pro class, obviously, John, that's got a lot of people chatting, but I'm not hearing the negativity, honestly, that I thought I would. I think everybody's kind of starting to face some music on that with the horsepower that the Light Pros are making and at the weight they're running at. And then obviously the 4.1s kind of get tossed into that as well, John. But what helped you, or what kind of led to that decision to take the Light Pros, or to introduce it this year with the Silver Series as a component chassis?
There was a core group of guys that kind of came to us and said, hey, we like that 540 cubic inch range. And we're sitting on cast iron that's 50 years old. We're tired of breaking transmissions, the same stuff we've heard in a lot of the different classes and that sort of thing. So it was just a move to put it on the Silver Series, and we got a lot of really good feedback. I think I've only had one complaint on it, but when we were at the Farm Machinery Show, had 2 or 3 guys say, hey, they were 4.1s wanting to jump into the Light Pro class. They were going to D-cube and come into it. I know Clint and his Western Series guys, they're excited about maybe looking at that at the end of the 23 season. And I think I even heard Badger State wasn't too far away from it either. It seems like it's just, at the end of the day, what on these tractors is really factory built. I mean, other than the sticker that says International or John Deere and maybe a hood ornament, everything else has been custom built, custom machined. So why sit on cast iron that's 40 and 50 years old that we have to put aluminum cases on the inside or plaster and body work to make it look like it's actually OEM.
Bingo. Travis Schlaba says, awesome to see the top 3 organizations in Louisville talking and working together to make pulling great again. John, you're very, very involved in Louisville, and I spent some time with Broadbent getting some videos. I had no idea you did as much as you did in Broadbent and keeping things moving. And what does it mean for you to be there? And honestly, you're helping NTPA pullers and you're helping Outlaw pullers, and what's that like for you to be part of all of that?
It's great because we're all a community at the end of the day. It's great to see Greg. You get to see Kurt a little bit. I know Ron was singing the anthem. That's always a really a neat situation. But to see some of the guys that you only get to see maybe once a year or twice a year, I missed out on seeing Blade Graves. I love talking about, West Texas and farming, that sort of thing. And, when Mark Allmer shows up, I've been to his place when I was a kid, when we, were on tour pulling a super stock tractor, and we got to see him. I love seeing the Theobald family. It's just really good to see good quality competition go down the track. And it's really cool because I can sleep in my own bed every night as well during the Farm Machinery Show. That makes it nice.
All right, quit rubbing it in.
That's 20 minutes. You get to see everybody go into 4th Street and doing all that sort of thing. But, a lot of people don't realize that Dan Christiani's my neighbor, basically. I could probably throw a rock out my front door and almost hit his backyard. So he's close. And, of course, Mike Witt and Gail Medford are all really, really good pulling people at the end of the day. They really have done a lot for pulling.
Tyler Ulmer says, miss you too, John. Ron Stone says, John's a fellow Southern Ohio guy. So that's all good.
Yeah, we didn't realize that Ron was from over by Taze Valley. And that's kind of where Roger Veach was from, just a little bit south of there. And I'd say Taze Valley was where I grew up, probably maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from where I grew up. And I forget. Oh, I was at the Badger State meeting. I told somebody they were wanting to request a 4.1 tractor, and they were wanting to put some different sheet metal on a different running gear. And I said, well, you know what? You could do like what my dad did. Back in the mid 80s, when we had 2 John Deeres, we painted them orange. So that's where we were at with that. So it is a fun time to see all these guys for that once a year situation.
Yeah. And I have a link. I have the schedule up right now up there on the screen for everybody. Of course, you are the PPL's running tech and running the show for us at the Pullers Championship. It's still independent. It's a non-sanctioned event, but we learned about insurance last year, John Mears, and we got kicked in the balls, and we spent about Charles, 15 to 20 grand on insurance, and
too much.
We got humbled a little bit, Mears. I like to say that I thought I knew a lot about pulling, John, but last year helping with the Pullers Championship humbled us. And because of the relationship that you have with Holes Hours, obviously coming back with the Champions Tour event, June 2nd and 3rd, it was a natural fit to have you and Christy and your team come in and tech the Pullers Championship and basically like what you do at Louisville and keep the show moving for us. We might be good at putting butts in the seats and sharing stuff on social media, but when it comes to that insurance thing, John, I cried a couple nights. I'm not going to lie to you. We had to buy 3 different policies, and if without Holes Hour, we would have been dead. So thank you for stepping up and helping us out with that this year.
So it's I like to call it a solid schedule. You know, we're going to be there at Holes Hours for the TPC early or mid-May, excuse me. And then we, fire up with some pro stocks and diesel super stock trucks there first weekend in June. Slide around to Macville and the Champions Tour schedule up at the St. Edwards Parish. That's always a fun place to be. How many times have you ever seen a church on one corner? Jason, that was the first time we ever crossed paths.
Yep, it is. So I actually lived up there in Appleton. I went on pulloff.com when it was an NTPA event, and I said, I want to help with this event. And that's when you guys bought out the ATPA. And at that time and obviously I had a relationship with Elsing at Badger State, and you guys were giving out some amazing deals to bring in like the mods and stuff like that. And those early shows you guys brought on, it was amazing. And Macville, you guys, it's one of the biggest polls in Wisconsin. I would say behind Toma and Hillsboro. And it's up there in the northeast corner of Wisconsin. And to what John was about to say, there's a church on one corner and a strip bar, a strip club on the other side of the street. And so you can go across and go and confess your sins and go to church in the morning and go back to the tractor pull. But no, that event supports the parish. It's an amazing event. 2 tracks. And John, what you're able to do with Greg and kind of co-sanction that with some Silver Series, some Champions Tour classes, and of course some of the Badger State classes. Well, it really puts on a great affordable show for the parish and for the fans to come in and check it out. But they have huge crowds up there, bud. So
yep, for sure.
Jason,
and then go ahead.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
That's really, what pulling is about is building community programs and community support. You see it there at Macville. And then, when you slide down to the end of the month at Waggles Pull, the Mound City, where they donate all that money to the, I believe it's that school for the football team / the ag program.
Yep.
That's really a highlighted event that the team at the Rumble by the Refuge put on.
Yeah, they bring out the scholarship kids and put them in the back of the pickups and show them off everywhere. There's like 6 or 7 local schools, but it's the Mountain City rural firemen that really drive that pull. And Wegel is one of the best at talking and selling and getting sponsorship. And him and Mitch and those guys down there, they've literally turned an old rodeo grounds into an amazing truck and tractor pulling facility. They've done a hell of a job down there, because I was down there in the earlier years and that facilities came along a long ways. They do awesome. So,
hey, Jason, if you would pick any one of those events and click on details.
Yep. Sorry. I'm going to pick on Wegel because I like him. So here we go.
And if you go to the bottom, that other box, it'll take you into My Race Pass. This is an app as well. I think there's something new for you guys, is it not?
Yeah, we were working with the folks from My Race Pass last year, and I'll be the first one to admit the website that Lucas had was not very user friendly. And by the time you made one change, it would change something that would happen in August, and it's just kind of train wrecked and got it off the rails. Christy's been working with Ross from My Race Pass, and we're starting to build the platform of an app and being able to connect a lot of the groups together and have it more user friendly. That was one thing that we were like adamant about with this transition time, is to make it to where it will work. I know Christy's been working on it the last 2 weeks probably trying to get the classes set correctly. I know they're going to put some directions or like the address at least, so you can, pinpoint it to your JEPIS to take you there. You know what I mean?
Yep, I've seen that in some of them as you guys are building it out, and well, like for Southern Illinois Showdown, it's got phone number contacts for the track, website to the track at holes hours, start times, how much it costs to get in the gate, all that stuff is in there. So I can see where you guys are building this out. I think it's going to be a good tool for you.
Yeah, they've been actually working with the folks at NASCAR, building a program to where it encompasses the NASCAR point systems and then like a point system from the Northeast to the Southwest. And they've been really, really busting their butt. But we talked with them at the PRI show, and they're like, "Yeah, we got the groundwork laid, man. We're ready to go." And then, this app is going to be beneficial as we go down with what Chase has got rolling in the full pull bets and the streaming situation, which we'll probably have an announcement here in the next probably 10 to 12 days about a streaming service coming down the pike, so we can kind of connect betting, wagering, live streaming, and the website all together in one big nice neat package.
That's been one of the questions, John. A lot of people have been asking about. MAV TV was the bomb. I mean, by far, and I help with Outlaw TV, but MAV TV was the bomb. I mean, the stats, the graphics, it was the best, John. It was the best that I've seen out there in the land of pulling, and that was one of my fears is, that you guys were going to lose that. I'm hoping, what you come up with is something similar to that.
So our former editor has been helping me along, and I will also add Ken Stow, the other commentary. He's been a real big benefit. We're getting very, very close to announcing a potential television package. So there's a lot of good things coming. We've got some of the same guys that operated the cameras that we're lining up to help put on the shows and do a streaming package as the summer moves forward. So there's just, if we had 45 more days, I could say, yeah, Jason, we're ready to rock and roll. The time crunch, by the time we got everything really actually squared away, I think was the mid-December, 15th, 18th. So I'm proud of what has happened. Christy and Carl has been working their butts off, but it's just, we're 45 more days and we'd be a lot further along for sure.
No, and that's all part of it. And sometimes, you got to make lemonades out of lemon or whatever that saying is to do that. Yeah. I'm happy that you and Christy kept it going. It's alive. It's going to be there again because, talking to Greg privately, talking to Kurt Van Beek privately, and, some of the leadership with the national associations, they were scared to death that, they were not going to be able to handle the influx of events that were possibly, if there was no PPL at all. John, it was a scary situation because, and this is a story I heard, and we all know this. Not every fair board loves truck and tractor pulling guys.
Right.
And it's sometimes it's old Gretchen, and she's 89, and she's been on the fair board since 57, and she just wants to fill a 3-hour window. And if there's no pulling on the schedule, once that's gone, guys, it could be gone forever at that particular venue. So that was when it was either Randall or Van Beek said that to me. And I don't remember which one, but man, that really drove home with me. That really, really drove home with me. Like, that's scary as hell. Because I know once you lose a night, you're screwed to get back on the schedule, because these fairs, if you've never, and I know John knows this, but if you've never been in a thing, your fair date is picked by when you get that damn carnival. That's it. There is nothing else. And you think that, oh no, no, you're going to have it when the carnies tell you you're going to have it, because that's 90% of your revenue. And
right.
And the carnies that you talk to at fair conventions, they have all their teeth and they drive Escalades and they fly in. It's not old Billy Bob down there with 2 teeth taking your $3 bill to throw. I mean, those are just the staff. That carnival business is a big deal. They're spending $1 million on a ride, and they go from Florida in the winter all the way back up in the Midwest. And that's really what drives pulling in the summer is fairs. That's sure. Some of our longest standing events. So, sorry, John, I didn't want to get all, it's your 20 minutes. So not mine. So let's see.
Yeah, that's a big part of stuff. And one thing that we got to touch on is, the member states all re-signed with us. We have 13 member states. I think we're pushing 240 or 250 events under our umbrella, everywhere from Badger State to the Nebraska Bush guys, what Joel's doing out there, and all the way to Johnny Mayer and Keith Woodbeck that do out in Albany, New York, Addison, Vermont, where that benefit pool goes on with the Vanderwerts. And then Chad Mackey down in the Carolinas booking pulls for us as well. And Southern Pullers, hell, they're going to be going here at the end of March, I believe. Even Mid-South starts going in Hammond, Louisiana, the March 23rd, 24th. It's pulling is year-round, folks. It is year-round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. Andrew Thomas Leonard says, after being married to my wife for 30 years, I finally got her to go to a PPL pull in Evansville, and she absolutely fell in love with that pulling, but only if they had 2 tracks, laugh out loud. Okay, well, Andrew, you can go to the folks at Evansville and help them build a second track, and then it'll be great. So
they have 2 tracks. It's kind of funny.
Okay. Yeah. Andrew, were you drinking too much beer? I'm not sure there. You have to tell us what's going on there, buddy. So
I even think on the night we're not there while we're in Goshen, they have 3 tracks for their farm stock stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. John, I'm going to put a picture on the screen. This is going to throw you back in memory lane a little bit. Can you tell me what's happening in that picture, John?
Probably some 16, 17-year-old long-legged kid trying to push the throttle all the way forward, and it looks like their belly weight's on there, so that'd have been a 95 Super.
Wow, John, not everybody knows that you pulled, buddy.
It's a pretty quiet kept secret. My dad got into pulling in 1986. We had a trailer business, or he had a trailer business, not we, it was him. And he had a tractor that a lot of people saw called the Trailer Farmer, and he would haul livestock trailers, North Carolina, out west. It just didn't matter where he went. He was probably one of the most well-traveled pullers that I can really ever remember, maybe other than like a Dr. Wayne Roush or somebody of that sort. So he was pulling all the way up to 94 when I turned 16. Had the chance to run a couple times, and then we built a couple of tractors, ran those for I guess 3 or 4 years, and then they went to a really good home, a fantastic home in Wilmington, Ohio, and a guy by the name of Larry Roberts bought 2 tractors. So he got into pulling from the tractors we had in the stable, and that's where that went. Been pulled in Ohio State many years. I think maybe there's the Trailer Farmer. Damn, that's a good one. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I got some videos of the old orange John Deeres. The Buckeye Express was one of them, but it was really kind of at Bowling Green. Dad actually parked the John Deere in the winter circle next to Harold Wallace. So that was one of the fun moments from Bowling Green that I really remember as a kid.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, John, I want to try to give everybody 20 minutes tonight. Can you kind of want to wrap this up with you here? Give us a 30, 60 second, how 2023 looks, maybe some announcements you have coming out. Obviously, we want to help you with those announcements when they come out and have you back on the show, but kind of give us your 30 or 60 second commercial, and then we'll let you back to your Monday night.
Yeah, the Monday night's about over. It's been, like I said earlier, is another 30 or 45 days would be a lot different. But trust me that I'm a highly competitive person. Played a lot of sports, so I just kind of considered told people at Louisville that it's like I'm down 10 points and it's the second quarter. Big deal. Like I got a whole nother half to play. Several things are lined up. A lot of people have already given verbal commitments, but I don't really like to announce anything until you see ink on the paper. But really looking forward to just getting back on the track, because that's going to be the easiest part of all this. I know we've got tech schools coming up the next 2 or 3 weeks, but getting on the track and just doing it, that is better than being pinned up in the office trying to play phone tag with all these folks. But looking for a successful season and getting to the track and seeing everybody again, because that's when we have the most fun, is when we're all together. I mean, we don't like being home in the wintertime. We want to go to Louisville, go to Shipshewana, and go wherever it might be, go to the truck show. Like, we want to go to the puller and hang out with our friends, because we hang out with these people more than we do our own family. And that's kind of scary to say. I was talking to Ricky Long in Louisville, and he was looking at his phone, and he goes, the last 10 phone calls he had and 10 text messages were all from pullers of some sort. We're addicted to this stuff. That's the scary part. We're addicted to pulling. We are. Well, John, thank you to you and Christy for keeping the ship, or the keeping it above water. How about that? I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Very appreciative of that. Been to many of your polls. You guys do an amazing job. We're excited to have you
tech and run our Pullers Championship for us. We really feel like we have some good momentum heading into year 2. I think we got year 1 off the ground, but we had to prove a lot of naysayers wrong, that we could pull something like this off. And we truly feel like we're building something special. Our dream is to have this outdoor Louisville and a chance to have some of the biggest purses in pulling. I don't know if we can keep up with Mike Connie and the Matt Trailer Winter Nationals, but damn it, we're going to try. We're going to try.
Yeah, for sure.
So, John, thank you for your time. Whenever you need a platform to get anything out to thousands of people, just send me a text and we'll make it happen. Okay.
Sure thing, man. I appreciate it, guys. And, good luck to everybody this season. I always tell everybody, if it's not for the guys that show up with their pulling vehicles, we're not doing anything. So can't wait to see everybody on the track and get this 2023 season rocking and rolling. Outdoor season. How about that?
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in about 10 weeks, I think it is, to the Pullers Championship. So have a good night, John.
Oh, shoot. See you guys.
See you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
All right. I was happy. I know, Charles, you were right about the 20-minute thing, but I was watching the clock. So
we're within 8 minutes. We pulled it off.
Yeah, we did. It's hard, but you and I've talked about this. Sometimes when the shows get a little longer like that, then we start, rumbling and bumbling a little bit. If we can, when we prep for the show, or keep this first hour formatted, have our people that we want to talk to and stuff like that. But I've been nervous all day. Not nervous, but just pumped. I mean, guys, we just shared with probably 100,000 people that are going to see the show by the end of the week between YouTube and Facebook, the 3 major associations on our little Let's Go Pulling podcast on this. And this just Charles.
Pretty major coup for any motorsports coverage show to pull that off in one night.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because it shows the fans, some unification in the sport a little bit. Yeah. Full Pull Bets has kind of brought that together. Again, I've been talking to, and I want to thank everybody for the emails. I've never had this many emails in my life about a particular, what about Full Pull Bets? A lot of people still questioning stuff, but you heard Randall talk about it. Ron touched on it. John Mears touched on it. They would not have signed up for this if money's not going to come back to the pullers. We're not going to go in depth at all into Full Pull Bets right now. But as news comes out, we're going to do that. I know Adam Kester is going to come on our show next Monday night. And he wants to talk about Full Pull Bets a little bit and how he feels that's going to affect the sport of pulling. I did put a call out yesterday on social media. We want to talk to anybody, whether you have a garden tractor club or whether you're John Mears or Ron Stone or Gregg Randall. We want to talk to you. And I've had some clubs coming out. We're going to come on and give them 15, 20 minutes of fame, if you will, on Let's Grow Pulling. Just no money. Just come on and talk about your pulling association. Yeah. And I think that's going to be fun to show that to everybody. Social media really has allowed us all. I'm so proud of everybody that's on social media now, doing what they're doing, taking great photos, taking great pictures, YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat, and all of it. It's so good for pulling, and to see it crossover like we did with Tony Reed when he talked about the raffle tractor for St. Jude's. I talked to Brian Lively about that when we were putting our ad together for the Pullers Championship ad in the Louisville brochure. By the way, did you guys buy one at all? I forgot to.
You know what? And I forgot to say something to one of you guys to snag me one too while you're down there. I totally forgot.
I put a Schultz Mortgage Team half-page ad in there too, and I'm such a schmuck. And I just didn't get one. I was so busy, I forgot to do it. So if anybody has a extra program from Louisville laying around, I can reach out to Mike Witt as well to talk about that a little bit. But I really like to see our Pullers Championship ad. And, I've seen it, in a JPEG, but I like to see it in the brochure or in the program. And I like to see my Schultz Mortgage Team ad as well. That'd be kind of neat on that. So, Pro Pulling League commented, I do appreciate everyone for tuning into the Big 3 show tonight. Charles, when I texted you yesterday and I said, I got all 3 of them, I think they're going to come on. You were like, hell yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped when you told me that.
Yeah. Jury, I will pay Ryan's travel expenses to come to Highland. Make it happen, Ryan. They want you there. So this is great. Do you have Dirk's cell phone number, Bruce?
No.
Okay, I'll get that for you. Lisa Bunnage.
Please do.
Lisa Bunnage, thank you. Thanks, guys. You're the best. That's great to hear that. I think we take our show more seriously now than we used to. I would say a couple years ago, I just kind of thought of us as a bunch of hacks sitting around talking about truck and tractor pulling, but I think enough of us have heard from other people that we do have a big audience on Monday night, and we do. And I know a lot of people are watching the show tonight, and it was fun. It's fun to showcase. Randall's such an ambassador. Ron Stone, John Mears, all three of them, just they're professional people, and you're showing the human side of it a little bit that they don't get to see. You know what I mean? You just show up at the polls, and they're saying, "Hurry up, got a driver's meeting at 6:30," and and that's it, and then we're on to the next poll. But to show a little bit of that, and I want to challenge the social media world. We did a little bit of it with Behind the Helmet. The Badger State guys have been doing a little bit with their down and dirty shop interviews. But I love golf, and there's a new show on Netflix called Full Swing.
Yeah.
And granted, we don't have the budgets that those people do, but like the Adam Wilsons of the world and the Jesse Posts, and you guys know who you are. Go get some behind the scenes footage, and sit down with these guys, local guys. Go find some local pullers and put a nice show together for them. Show them their dog, show their shop, show their family, and do that. And if you know what I'm talking about, go to Netflix and watch Full Swing. And they showed the behind the scenes. I don't know if any pullers, Charles, have their own jets. They're
right. I watched it. It was very well done.
I know a couple who
the editorial team that did that show was behind the Drive to Survive series that covers Formula One.
Right.
So
okay,
it's very well done.
Well, I watched that F1 thing too, Charles. I love it because I'm looking for ideas to bring to pulling. How can we take this to the next level to do stuff like this? It's a ton of time and it's a ton of money, but I believe in it, and I'm challenging everybody. And then we have so many good people now taking pictures and shooting videos and posting on social media about pulling. It just makes me very, very proud of all of us, what we're doing for the sport. And the amount of shows that we have now during the week with everything we got going on, it's a lot of fun. And if anybody has any show ideas and you're looking for a platform, we will support you. We have the StreamYard that you see here. Charles has done it with the power rankings. I do it with the Outlaws. Gregg Randall and I are working on some stuff with the NTPA. Greg's just been beyond stupid busy getting everything ready. But we're going to start, I want to show people more about Gregg Randall and behind the scenes with the NTPA. I think it's important to do that. And I know the PPL, obviously, it was fun to hear John come on and talk tonight. I don't want to get into who owns the PPL. Frankly, I don't care. I'm just glad they're here. And I know they got some big stuff coming. Randall has some big stuff coming with the NTPA with some sponsorship stuff. Now, the Delanskys are not working for them anymore. You heard him say that.
Yeah.
But they have that new guy.
I did not know that.
They have that new guy out of Ohio. Is it Daniel Don Schwer? Shoot. I had a Zoom call with him.
Schwer, I thought was what he said was.
But he's sharp, you guys. He's the real deal. And he knows what's going on. And we talked through a bunch of different ideas. And if him and Randall said they got on the whiteboard, guys, that's meeting time. And he's going to go after some stuff out there. So really, really fun to see all of that. So Dale Bartle says, you would think advertisers would get a program. Yeah, maybe I did. And I didn't even pick it up. Maybe one of my guys have it. I'm not sure. Dan Schroer. I'm sorry, Dan. But Dan lives in Ohio. I had a Zoom call with him and Randall. We just kicking around some ideas, but he's the real deal. He is the real deal. Cody, what was Ron talking about? Some big smoke shootouts and stuff, or what are you working on for the Outlaws?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Well,
big smoke shootouts.
The thing that I told you about with Tyler.
Dude, I've slept since then. It's been a day.
I slept a bunch of times since then with Tyler Beckman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been a hot minute. I'm sitting in a hotel in Kansas City. I've jumped from like trade show to trade show. So there'll be some exciting stuff coming out from that.
Austin Thurby says, anybody want to come see the shop for both minis can drop by anytime. Shane Hunt, go make that happen, buddy. He's down in your neck of the woods. Jer Setter, great show tonight. Having all the big three on just echoes your goal of Let's Grow Pulling. Well done. Thank you, Jerry. That means a lot coming from you. Travis Schlaba, my hero, and Let's Grow Pulling is still better than The Bachelor.
We got the rose for another week.
The inside joke on that is his beautiful wife, Allison, watches The Bachelor every night. And she goes in the other room, and Travis sits in the chair with the iPad, and he watches Let's Grow Pulling. And he was on the Badger State show earlier as well. But and I know we've all heard it, but people spend their Monday nights with us. I've had Ron and I were walking through this Iowa State Fair together, after one of the sessions, and people came up to us and, hey, you're those two guys we watch every Tuesday night on the Outlaw Facebook page. And I know you guys have all heard people say you watch, they see on Let's Grow Pulling and stuff like that too. So it's kind of fun to do all that. We're just pullers, photographers, announcers, just trying to put a bigger spotlight on the sport that we love. And that's all really all we're trying to do. So that's all we got going on there. When is the next ranking show? I know you guys hit it hard during Louisville, Charles. How are we gonna keep going?
We did, and then we forgot we needed to figure out what we were gonna do going forward. So actually, I gotta get together with the boys and we're gonna figure that out here probably tomorrow. So.
And again, if anybody has ideas for shows, Charles, one day I just called him and said, dude, I just got done watching ESPN NFL Power Rankings, and he's like, yeah, I've been thinking about that too. And then I said, screw it, we're doing it tonight. And that's just what we did. And we did that.
It literally, well, I don't think it was like 24 hours. Like, be ready, we're doing this tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
That's kind of how we work. That's kind of our MO to all of us. If we don't just set a date and do it, we'll never get it done. So
and that was exactly the conversation you and I had.
Yep. Chris Kripke-White, great announcer, lives in Nebraska, does a lot of Western series. I think he's helped with some Outlaw stuff. And Nebraska Bush, great show tonight. That's nice to hear from you, Kripke-White. Always great to work with you, Mr. Pulltown.
When are you coming on?
Whenever he wants.
We're gonna make the invite right now.
Yep.
Kerp, I want you to block off a Monday night. I want you to
15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
Because guys, if we hold to these segments, and Charles really challenged me, he's like, "There's no way you guys can. We got to just wrap it up." But I think we can. I think if we just go into expectation, 20 minutes, let's rock and roll. And 20 minutes goes fast. It sounds like a long time, but man, it boogies through. And I felt bad even cutting Greg off to go to Ron, and then Ron to John, and then nobody's after John. But I don't want Ron to be like, "Hey, you kept on John longer." You know what I mean? So it's all good. It's all good to have him do that there. But that's fun. I mean, we want to talk to every announcer. We have what do we got coming on? We're going to Florida this weekend, Satsuma, Florida. I'll be announcing down there Friday and Saturday night. And then it's the Keystone Nationals. We're going out there to get video, sell merchandise. And then it's the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals. I don't think we have a lot going on in April at this point. And you guys, I just looked at the Pullers Championships 10 weeks away. Like legit.
Yeah.
Like legit. So that's why I was happy to see the billboards go up today. Thank you to the Holzhauer team down there. So that was neat. Ryan Fulks, bluegrass pulling is there 3 times. What did he mean by that? Bullgrass, shoot. Sometimes I don't keep up with the comments, guys, quick enough. Do you think Charles Roos? Do you think you know what we're talking about there?
No, Ryan, put it in the comments. Make it clear what you're talking about. You're still
Jeremy
watching.
Sean,
I'm sure you are.
I have an old NTPA pulling pamphlet from 1974 that my dad gave me. Harley Marie says, wonderful show tonight. Chuck says, I haven't missed many Monday nights. Mr. Pulltown Nut, I spend my Monday nights glued to my TV now. Thank you for doing a great job. That guy's invited every puller to his campsite in Bowling Green. Like when Tyler Sloss shows up there, like he thinks he has a lot of Busch Light, but I don't think he's ever hung out with Tyler Slaw before, guys.
No, Tyler's going to prove you wrong, buddy. You might want to buy another 250 cans just to be safe.
Yep,
I feel like that would
a
be
thing.
I feel like that'd be an epic chugging video. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Who has the best hair in pulling? Charles?
Colin Ross.
He does. He has beautiful flowing locks. Chris Kripke-White, what do you want me to talk about? I just mumble and bumble my way through the shows. Quit being so humble.
That's fine. That's fine. You can mumble and bumble your way through this show. We're just glad that you've proven that. Okay, so tonight was kind of a proof of life thing because Chris told me we talked around Christmas, and he told me that his lovely wife was turning a birthday that ended in 0 that's bigger than my birthday, and he was throwing a surprise party for her, and he truthfully wasn't sure whether or not he was going to survive because he thought that it was quite possible that she might kill him until he was dead when he threw the party. So, Chris, we're glad you're still here.
Wyatt Schulte,
Yep.
He's part of the power rankings with Charles and Shane Hunt. We're going to need to discuss some things for the show. Yeah, you guys might have to go in
Boy,
history.
Charles, it sounds like you're in trouble.
No, Charles, what's the boys? He just kind of keeps them in balance. He's been doing a really good job with them. It's been fun.
No, it's just that there's a lot of dots there.
Oh yeah. Why do people do that? Doug Bork does that all the time too, in all his text messages. What for you? Dot people. What does that mean? Is that like I'm thinking or I'm trying to emphasize something? It's kind of funny.
Usually means I'm thinking, but
okay, fair enough. Austin Thurby. I met him in Florida. He's a good dude. A mini rod puller. All you mini rod. There's two types of people in this world: mini rod pullers and everybody else. You guys are all a little crazy. You guys are all a little crazy.
That's a T-shirt. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know a guy. I'm gonna make that actually. I'm gonna write. Thank you, Roos. I'm gonna write that down.
There's mini rod guys or mini rod people. We have to be inclusive.
Yep.
And there's everybody else.
I think that'd probably sell pretty good too.
I kind of think so.
I
think pretty much every mini rod puller that we all know would buy multiples.
Yeah, I think so. We had a great weekend. Doug and Hope went down, you guys, to the O'Reilly. What is it called? The motorsports, the World of Wheels
Motorama or something.
Yeah, the World of Wheels. So the Toma Tractor Pull had a booth down there, and we helped Toma with their marketing. And then they wanted to put the Remedy on display, but as you all know, the Remedy's in 9 million pieces right now. And I said, I got something way better than the Remedy that would be cool. How about the Cummins Killer? So you guys, the Cummins Killer was just, on absolute display at PRI, and they had that thing polished to the nines again. And Chris Schreier was so happy with how well the Cummins Killer brought people in, and then people were signing up and taking brochures about Toma and stuff like that. So that's a little segue into you guys. If you're a promoter, what Toma's doing. It's February and they were at the World of Wheels thing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So think outside the box a little bit and to do that, to promote that. It was amazing. And they had us down there. We sold some merchandise. They felt like we were a draw as well, but we weren't a draw like the Cummins Killer. You guys, that truck is stupid cool, and it's all polished up in the chrome and with the hood up, and it belongs at a show like that. You know what I mean, guys? It's legit. It's legit. So pretty neat there. Terry Benson says Charles has the best hair in pulling. So, Andy Gerbach says Will Mans has the best hair in pulling. Ooh, I think as a
Andy
puller,
Gerbach has questionable judgment. Don't worry about him.
Is he up? Did Andy get that big snowstorm he wanted? I know he busted north for the snow, but did that not happen or not?
As far as I know, he went up.
Okay.
I feel like this could be like a playoff bracket.
We could do it.
We could do it like a pick'em contest almost, some playoff bracket.
Does best hair in pulling also include best facial hair?
Nope, that has to be another one.
Nope, that's a different.
No, I'm not talking about me. My beard sucks, but I know a guy from Oklahoma's got a pretty killer handlebar.
Right?
Yeah,
Just saying.
But I think if we did that, I think we have every association nominate their best hair, their best hair puller, and then their best facial hair puller, and we just put them up and have a runoff. It'd be kind of fun like that. So to do all that out there, I would say Loretta Selman with the Outlaws. She's got some sweet hair. Some sweet hair.
If we do the media, no offense, Mark Ham.
Yeah, we should do that with the media.
Mark Ham, I'm sorry, but it was funny.
Cody, you're such a dick.
Yeah, Cody's a dick. Mark, don't worry. Cody's a dick. It's okay. That's why we like him.
Mark still loves me.
This comment on the screen right here, Rusty Newbie. I'm proud to see you show off all 3 national organizations on this program. It shows how close this community really is. Nice work, gentlemen. That's a great feeling. You know what I mean? To lead it off with Randall, and then roll into Stone, and then have John Mears come on. That was huge. It was huge for us, guys. From a credibility platform for us as well. So, and I know Greg's going to do more lives on the NTPA stuff as well. And obviously, he's a big deal on RFT TV, so it's all good. Brenton Rogers, haven't been able to watch in a while. Great show. Mark Ham, Chris K is the man. The end. All right. Ryan Folk says it was a comment about Corridon, Indiana. He just sent me something about Corridon having 3 pulls, so it's all good. Lee Ruff from the Badger State. Chuck Hobbs. ... Continue. Dylan Dirks. Ryan, why are you making your way to pre-30 this year?
There's a pretty good chance you'll see me there.
Good.
Allegedly, I might get to drive a steam engine.
Cool. Cool. Terry Benson. I like that Terry's been watching the shows. Charles has the best hair. We're at a cattle show last weekend. I showed some cattle fitters a picture of him, and they said, "Oh yeah."
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Wow, Charles.
That's the most random thing I've heard in a long time.
Yep.
I appreciate it, Terry. I think.
Morgan, just send me that over. Tiffany says Tyler Slaw has the best hair in pulling.
He's a candidate in both categories.
Mark Ham, all natural. That's for you, Cody.
Yep.
Somebody says
Mark's
Mike.
a good.
Ooh, Mike.
You know, that's not
That's strong.
necessarily wrong.
That's a strong nominee right there.
That is a very strong nominee.
Yep. That was the one thing that Whit's like, yeah, once I get on your show, then everybody's going to know who I look like. And I don't know if I want that. So that was kind of funny. Mr. Poletown Nut on YouTube. All due respect. The best is the guy at North Side in Bowling Green wearing nothing but an Alice Chalmers one-piece bikini.
Did not need that visual. Did not need that visual.
No, furthermore, it's got me scratching what is a one-piece bikini?
Never
mind.
You had to ask. You did not want to know.
No, no.
Oh,
Never mind. I'll just sit here and drink my starter fluid, which somebody was asking earlier what the proof was. 120, baby. 120. Rocket fuel.
You always know when Roos starts off the show, like he'll sit down and then he'll get up and you'll hear the ice in the background. Clink, 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 clink. So I'm like, yep, Roos is
hear the clink.
A clink. Brenton Rogers. PPL used to have a big pull there. I know Battle Bluegrass is there, but PPL used to hook there. I think we're still talking about the court in Indiana.
All these sidebar conversations. Interesting.
Yeah, I got to keep up with them. That's my fault. He also has a cape. Yeah,
all right. Full-time nut. Shush.
We need some pictures, or it didn't happen.
No more talking.
NSFW.
Yes, all of that.
Yeah. Terry Benson's back, Charles. We die to get hair on our cattle. Our show cattle like that because we can clip the hair to make them look better. All right. So,
that is 100% true, Terry.
Here comes Meisinger, kind of like a banana hammock.
Meisinger, stop talking. I don't want to think about this ever.
He's referring to Vegas and Fremont Street. That's
I know where Fremont Street is.
That's where all the freaks go out, and he just kind of just sit there and smile a little bit. Cody. I don't know. You weren't on right away, but Ryan and let's talk about Randall. What's the biggest thing you took away from his NTPA presentation about 2023?
He probably didn't see any of it. He's on the spot.
Bruce?
I don't know. I guess I mean, I'm not going to say I had heard it before, but I kind of knew where he was headed. So I had kind of a little bit of background knowledge there.
Yep.
I think it's cool that they're doing so many events in Michigan, my home state. I love seeing that. I love that my hometown is putting on another, I think it's a region hook.
Yes.
For the second year in a row. That's awesome. I think that's great.
I've had multiple pullers come up and tell me that this is the happiest they've seen Randall in years. Like he just genuinely happy and he's pumped about the 23 season. Like full pull bets is part of it. He sees some light at the end of the tunnel on that. Bringing some money back into the sport. Some of the newest sponsorship and having help. Like the Delanskys were gonna do, and it turned into Don. But he's excited for that to have a little bit of help with that because they've been running it lean and mean. You guys, those COVID years were tough on associations. We were pissed because there wasn't a lot of events to go to, but guys, Poland's a shoestring budget as it is. Did we kick Ryan? Did you kick Ryan off, Charles?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
But Poland is a shoestring budget as itself. And I've seen the books, and I get it, or not the books, but I understand how the money side of it works. And without them having events, guys, that's hard on them. And it really put them behind for a couple of years and they're still digging out of it, and then to hear Mears say tonight, I just need 30 to 45 more days. They're just behind the 8 ball heading the 2023 season. They put up the schedule they can, and they're going to run with it. You know what I mean? And that's which is still great. It was interesting to hear him say they didn't lose any of the state associations. I thought that's what I thought could be the biggest impact. Either go join an NTPA region, right, guys? Or become a state association, or the Outlaws pick you up like they have with the Heartland Association. But you're starting to see more of the business side of it, which I think it's good to talk about. I think it's good to be real about it, and talk about the 80s and 90s, the 2000s, and now we're at 2023 and what it's all about. And it's good having fans come on here and fellow pullers asking questions. That's what we need to hear from all of you, to ask Gregg Randall, to ask Ron Stone, to ask John Mears, that kind of stuff, because you're curious and you want to know what's going on, because you're the ones supporting these events and going out and making it happen. So it's great stuff. So
I'm encouraged to see some of the rebound too, in terms of people trying to do events and go to that next level. Ryan's hometown picked up NTPA sanction. Pulling's been happening in Fremont forever, years and years and years, but it's never been national sanction. My hometown fair is coming back to national sanction this year, and I'm a part of the pull committee over there, but like the fair board's the one who said they wanted to do this before it even came up in the meeting. They were saying they were going to try for it. So there's an appetite out there to try and do this still in places. So that's kind of encouraging.
I've always felt that we as promoters, I'm a promoter hat on, don't do a good enough job explaining what a nationally sanctioned event is, Charles, Ryan, Cody, versus, hey, we're having a truck and tractor pull. And I really want to challenge, like on our billboard for the TPC, it says the biggest names in pulling. Our dream was to have this outdoor Louisville. How else do you say it? Like, we're bringing Esden Lane and frickin' Brett Berg to Nashville, Illinois to play, for 2 nights. Those are the biggest names in pulling, but you promoters, your Fremonts, your Armadas, and I watched Roos's Facebook, and Charles, I saw you post about Armada. You guys have to let your fans know that you're bringing in the NTPA, the National Tractor Pulling, and that's a big freaking deal. Because if you don't put 500 or 1,000 more, butts in the seats, and I know you get a good crowd already, Charles and Armada, because that's always the Sunday after Bowling Green, right, bud?
We always Saturday and Sunday. We've always been on that weekend, same as BG. And NTPA's been there in the years past, but with Bowling Green right there, it makes it tough.
There's something. Which pulls, Cody, Roos, Charles, and everybody watching, which pulls are the most entertaining and why? Not just pulling, guys. What ones are you most excited about? Let this sink in a little bit. And I know there's a 15-second delay on the show a little bit, but what shows are most entertaining, the most exciting, just in general across the board? Did I ask that right, Charles? Do you know what I'm trying to go
Yeah,
at?
you did. We've talked about this before, kind of what makes it, and I always kind of go back to an atmosphere that a particular venue or an event has. And I've said it before on the show, and I'll keep saying it. I hold up like Langford, New York is one of those places where there's just an electricity about it. The whole thing. People are excited. There's crowds everywhere. It's just something that works.
Electricity. When have you felt electricity at a pull before, Charles? I want to share with you 2 years ago, Friday night, Toma. Rob Russell had the lead, took it early in the class. Toma was freaking packed. I love Toma, guys. It's an hour from my house. I mean, it's one of my jams. I love that place. And Brandon Simon or RJ spotted Brandon on the opposite side of the track, last hook of the class, and that place went freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, the hair on my arm stood up, and that, it's 10:30, a lot of liquid encouragement by that time of night, but the place was packed. Nobody left. And that was electricity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
where it doesn't have. I think once a summer I'll be somewhere and you'll get that feeling. Yeah. One that stands out in my memory, the COVID year at Rockwell, Saturday night, the Unlimiteds. That
100%
nuts. It was awesome.
No, I remember you guys talking about that. That's great.
Yeah.
I ate so much damn dirt that night.
That's your.
Because I think that was the night that Austin showered me with dirt.
Yes, he did.
Jeanette Meisinger, announcer can make a huge difference in a show, keeping the audience engaged. Bingo.
Yeah.
And there's different styles of keeping the crowd engaged too. The older the older I get, the more I respect for everybody's different style. You know what I mean? Of keeping that crowd engaged. That's fun. Doug Meisinger says Wisner has an atmosphere that's impossible to explain. He's right.
Mm-hmm.
Wisner has left a hole in my heart though a little bit with my tractor blowing up there.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
it left
it
a hole
left
in
a
your
hole.
turbo.
It left, and the block
And the block and the
bent
pistons
valves.
and, yeah, pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back someday and I'm going to redeem myself. It's probably not going to happen this year or maybe not even next year, but I'm going to go back. I'm going to be very, very nervous. My tractor goes down the track at Wisner. So
the first shootout at Wagler, the Pro Stock shootout in, I believe, 2019.
that was the first kind of $10,000 thing, right, Roos?
Yeah, and the thing is, the crowd wasn't that big.
Right.
But we all knew what was happening. And Miles was working the show, and I was one of the only photographers there, maybe the only one. Tucker was taking video with his crew. But we kind of had free reign of the place, and Miles was out of the booth and walking around down on the track or, near the track. And that was fun. We had a lot of fun that night.
That's good.
Plus a red one won.
Right.
That was kind of wild to watch.
That was Schnittker or was that Kane?
Schnicker.
Right. Mr. Pulltown Nut has been one of our biggest fans. I enjoy him. Saturday night, Bowling Green, 40,000 plus attendance, priceless. Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green's built-in electricity. That place is freaking stupid cool. It's awesome. So, especially last year with all the Canadians back, that was special. Yeah, those guys drink harder beer. Their beer's got more proof in it, right, Charles? Is that the right word?
It's got something. I grew up on it. I guess I'll say I'm used to it because the border is 25 miles that way.
Yep. Guys, electricity. We guys still have a lot of people watching. Electricity. Tell us about a time you went to a pool and you felt electricity, and you're like, "Wow, that was awesome." And I want to know what it was because we want to share these ideas with announcers, promoters, pullers, fans. People get involved with their local events like this. Share some electricity type ones like that. It makes it fun. So for me, a big
Saturday
crowd.
Saturday night at Rock Valley last year.
Yeah.
When the crowd willed Taryn Beck to get that tractor off the line and make a pass.
Yep.
I've never seen anything. I don't think I've ever seen anything more electric than that.
Wish I could go find some of those videos. They're buried. But hearing her family talk about that, so makes it fun.
And I remember very specifically Josh yelling to the crowd, cheer her on, help her get that tractor off the line, and watching that crowd come to life.
I think for me it was Mark Ulmer giving her like the fist pump of go, go, go type of thing on the side,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were one of the only people who saw that.
I know.
I saw that picture and I looked back through my photos. I'm like, did I catch any of that? No, hell no. I didn't catch any of that.
But that's the glory of it. Everyone sees a different perspective, to be able to see that.
In my case, I heard a different perspective, and it was right behind me. That crowd came to life like I've never, ever seen before in my life.
Yeah, I had some videos sent to me, Roos, of like her family and friends talking, screaming, go, go, go. It was pretty neat.
Those TikToks where they all went so bat crap insane.
Yep.
I can think of one from this summer actually, and so the circumstance can be created as well by that just intense competitive moment. And I look at the Enderley, the mod class, because Berg and Owens have been going at each other to finish out that whole season.
Yeah.
Berg comes out as the first hook and blows it out there 405 feet. And the very next hook is Owens. And he goes right up his tire tracks and goes even further. you could have blown the lid right off that grandstand. The place went crazy.
How big of a crowd is it in Enderley, Charles? How many people?
I don't know that, honestly.
I need to go to that.
There's a lot of people there. I know when I go.
Yeah.
It's not, it's certainly not BG big, but I don't know, 15,000 people, 20,000 people on the property, maybe. I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay, that's huge. Those are some big numbers. Mean Street Pulling Team says McLeod, Kansas is a great facility and one of his new favorites. Great crowd. It's a great show. Petrie and those guys out there just kill it.
They're a 2-night hook this year. I talked to Bill in Louisville, and they're pretty excited about that.
It's Louisville, Cody. Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Somebody's going to correct you in the comments.
That's fine.
Both of you.
It's fine. I enjoy it. Wyatt Schulte, I think Toma is self-explanatory because Washburn makes it electrical. He does. Having him on when did we have him on about 6 weeks ago? That was a hoot.
Yeah.
That was a hoot. That's why these announcers and how they got their start. Would you have ever guessed that he got to start announcing because Larry Richwine's dad died? I mean, what a story. You know what I mean? That's cool. I mean, not that Larry Richwine's dad died. That's not cool. But I mean, it's very awesome that that's how he got to start. Mark Ham, one of the wildest crowds I saw was a South Dakota State Fair when the Outlaws returned there. Bennett still talks about it. So that's cool.
I guess one of the most memorable ones that I had from last year was a small town pull in Missouri that they do a really nice job. Burlington Junction, and Brent Roberts, he's a puller, and he was an announcer. And because he had to go pull, his son got on the microphone, and I'll never forget. Like, I wish I would have recorded it, but his son got on there and they said, "How do you think your dad's going to do?" He says, "Not very good. He needs more parts." And it was great because I was like, "Brent, your son is forever going to announce whenever you go to the line. And if you want to go like 30 minutes early, that's fine because we'll all enjoy it." But that was like, you want to talk about a crowd getting into it, like having your son announce and tell him that Dad's not going to do very good because he needs more parts. That was great. So that was pretty fun.
Come on, now let's throw Brent under the bus properly. He prepped his kid for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just say it out loud so Mom can hear it. I can hear that conversation.
Yeah, I guarantee it. That's what happened there. That's awesome.
Yep.
Timothy Wolf's watching on YouTube. He says, "I continue to say Cloverdale was most entertaining. Miss that pull a lot." Yeah, Cloverdale was awesome, and Chippewa is awesome too. I mean, they have Tucker's pull, and then they have that NTPA pull. They coming up always sells out. I mean, just packed house, both sides, both nights. And Greg talked about that a little bit earlier, and we'll start pushing more stuff around about that on social media here as they get the classes set up. But it's great to see all that. So. It's good to have the crowd supporting it. Brenton Rogers says, J.R. Collins making his final pass in Bowling Green. Yeah, that would be electric. Robert Danner, Pro Stocks last year at Bowling Green, full pull mark and pull off. Crowd was electric. Pull offs bring electricity. I just wish they would run the pull offs at the end of the show. That's all. If I could have one wish. Run the pull-offs at the end of the show. Give everybody a chance to cool down a little bit. So, but that's just me. Wyatt Schulte, Sandwich this last year, mod final points was crazy between Owen and Berg. Super Farm came down to that too. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than as an announcer, Charles, coming into it and we're going to decide it tonight.
Yeah.
And you got to beat so-and-so by 3 spots, or you got to beat so-and-so by him. And Richwine does a nice job of explaining all that down there.
I've often done those season under type programs where I'll have the points in front of me, and I know to the point where somebody's got to finish and how they got to land to be able to capture. And it's kind of chaos sitting there with a calculator, doing it, but I enjoy it, and I think it adds something to the fans when you can.
I agree. Morgan Schulte, most electric moment of all time for him. Everybody was lighting up their phones when Bowling Green, when Adam Kester ran Footloose after Larry passed away in Chapel Hill in 2019. Yeah.
That would have been cool to watch.
And we're having Adam on the show next Monday. And then we do have Dave Schreier March 20th. I'm going to his house. That's going to be a special show. And I'll need you guys, obviously, behind the scenes on that, with questions and stuff. I will be at Mr. Schreier's house, and that's going to be phenomenal. Clearly one of the biggest names in polling, and it kept polling alive, and we're going to tell the story through those lean years, if you will. Corey Cullen checking in from Wisconsin. Darlington always packed. It's one of the biggest Badger State polls. They sell. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. I have many, many, many fun stories there. Charles, that's where I got my announcing career. John and Stacy were in Freeport, and Bill Smith called me, and I was announcing Tri-State and ECI at the time, and he said, this is exactly how the phone call went. They tell me you can announce. I'm like, yeah, I think I can. We'll be in Darlington Saturday night at 6. And I get there. He walks up on the stage, says, here's the deal. If you're good, you'll be back. If you suck, you'll never announce a Badger State poll ever again. He just walked away. And I was like, what? And then after the show, he came up and he said I could come back. So that was fun.
There was a thought I had. I was listening to somebody else, another show, and they asked whoever it was, what do you think your biggest accomplishment in the sport is? And I got thinking about it, at least when it comes to myself, and I think it's the fact that my phone still rings every winter to come back to these places.
Quit being so humble, Charles. That's good stuff. That's cool. Gerald Holt says, Waterloo, Illinois. Again, we're talking about electricity. A time you felt electricity at a poll. And the reason we do these exercises, is because we want promoters and pullers and fans and sponsors to hear this, okay? So Waterloo, Illinois, a few years ago when Michelle Novinger was in first place in the super stock class and her dad, Mike, pulled last and beat his own daughter by 20 feet. The crowd went wild. He drives the wheels off those super stocks. Like, it's all balls with when he drives. It's crazy. I've seen him make some wild passes in Mountain City over the years. Terry Benson, I felt electricity at Toma one year walking through the pit, and someone must have had a short in their electrical. And I walked through a puddle of water, and it almost knocked me on my ass, but I feel it at every ball. Thank you, Terry. Terry, you win. That's true. That's true electricity.
That is legit electricity.
Yep. Timothy Wolf, watching on YouTube. Enderley is a great show. Austin Thurby, Eagleville, Tennessee is always fun. A lot of liquid encouragement makes us small-time guys smile. Having 3,000 to 4,000 people screaming for you. I think Cody Agent helps with that poll, guys. Yeah. I've seen the line of cars on his Facebook. It's insane. Adam Deckard, Carlton Cope winning National Farm Machinery Show in Bowling Green in 2013. That makes me think of something, and you guys can help me with this. But when the Pro Stocks ran at the old Gordyville in the horse barn, right? Rantoul, whatever, Gifford, and Carlton did not make the finals. He missed it but hearing that B8 Pro Stock inside, guys, was like cool as all can be. Within 5 minutes, I had $5,000 brought up to the announcer stand of letting Carlton into the finals and throwing that extra money at them. And I remember a couple of the Pro Stock players like, no, we made it once. We don't need that. We don't need that to happen again. But Pro Stocks inside that little Gifford arena, that was and when Travis Schlaubaugh came down there with the Diesel Super.
Oh, I still remember that one. That's electricity.
Awesome. It's kind of like when the big guys come to the small town poll, if you will. You know what I mean? Oh, here comes a Grand National Diesel Super Stock. And Travis was just freaking whooping everybody's ass that winter. That was the Cloverdale Farm Machinery Show, just swept it all. That's before he had it painted. He was just, that thing was on kill. But that Carlton Cope going down the track is electric. Austin Thurby, I think when facilities have a way for tractors to be brought back by the crowd after they get done pulling, even if they break it, they can wave to the fans and enjoy it. Yeah, I see that a lot in Europe. They do a nice job with that.
Yeah, they make sure that they do it that way there.
Mark Ham, Scrappy's pass that Spencer hit in the William Bar at least 3 times and still going 300 a lot. Yeah, that thing. That's electricity. Oh, Moose sent me the video. I'll try to pull that up, guys. I do want to wrap this up in a few minutes. What else did you guys want to touch on? I'm proud. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of Gregg Randall. I'm proud of Ron Stone. I'm proud of John Mears. I'm proud of Let's Grow Polling. We had on, I don't know if we've ever had a more impactful show than tonight, guys. We showed the polling community the leadership of the 3 major associations in one show. I'm pumped. I'm super, super pumped for that. So
I didn't have anything else. The few notes I made were for those guys. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Cody,
nothing here.
Cody, you got anything, buddy?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gregg Randall, Executive Director of the NTPA, Ron Stone, Vice President of the Outlaws, John Mears. I think he's Director of Operations or Vice President. I don't know what his title is, but he's a big deal. Him and Christy run Pro Polling League. Thank you for coming on tonight. Excited to see some of you in Satsuma, Florida this Friday and Saturday night. I'll be on the microphone down there. You guys, that's a legit facility. Mark Kelsey is from Illinois. He has a light super stock. There's a lot of clay on that track down there. It's not going to be your typical Florida track. I know we got some big mini rods coming down. Jim Shandorf's coming down. Kevin Hill's coming down. We're gonna have some big blown minis. Foresters are coming down. I'll get as much live video as I can out to everybody, and then we're on to the Keystone Nationals. For that, we're promoting the live stream watchpolling.tv. If you can't be there, Bakersfield, California, March 11th. That kicks off the season for MLM Motorsports. Then the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals April 1st, and of course Shipshawana is March. It's the same weekend as Keystone, guys. I got to remember that. Keystone and Ship are the same ones, but March 17th and 18th back to Shipshawana, Indiana at the Mech Center. The NTPA. How many classes, Charles? Ryan, do you know?
5. Limited 4-1s, Pro Stock, 3.0 truck. Shoot, put me on the spot. Hang on.
No, that's okay. Let me Matt Steinmetz sent me the poster the other day. I just got to find it quick.
Pro Stock, Super Farm, Hot Farm, 4-1, and 3.0 truck.
Yeah.
6 o'clock both nights. I because of work, I will not make it to Friday's session, but I plan to go to Saturdays.
They have an amazing list of pullers here. I'm gonna buzz through these quick. This is what's on the NTPA website, guys, and I'm gonna let everybody go to bed. Again, March 17th and 18th. Here we go. Entire screen. Boom. This is Ship. I'm on NTPA. I'm gonna throw this in the comments for those of you that want to go look at this yourself. Click on this link. It's in the comments now. Super Farm. Ryan Anderson checking out. Jason Benser, Plastic Money. Lee Butts, Press On. Charlie and Nick Capozzo, Cruel Intentions. Greg and Russ Freeze, Deer Tracks. Shane Maston, Thumpkin Pumpkin. Gary Shavink, New Attitude. Tony Seatsma, Wolverine Deer. John Silsby, Crop Doctor. Stan Ward, Hammer and Hank. Chris Widener, JD Hogue. Dave Whelan, My Last Excuse. That's your Super Farm. Those are badass Super Farms. 4.1 Limited Pros, same thing. Jeff Ball, Dr. Deer, Garrett Baldry, Smoke Fever, Jamie Campbell, Green Impact, Isaac Conway, Operation Detonation, Bill Figgenbaum, Instigator, James Geezy, Hicktown Hurricane, Dean Hollicky, Killing Time, Chris Lear, Badger Deer, Colin Lear, Darien Deer, John Leakty, Rush Hour, Kevin Lindstrom, Hyper Harvester, Doug McKinley, Night Train, Patrick Kane, Bad to the Bone. Saw a lot of those Super Farms and 4-1s at the farm show. Pro Stocks inside on a big long track like this. This is awesome. Tim Ammons, Ultimate Harvester. Tim Kane, the Red Gambler. Esden Lemke, New Generation Puss. Robbie Lemke, Straight Out of Line. That's the Kloss. John Link, Revelation Pro. Rhett Parrish, El Nino. Jason Ron, the Instigator. Jason Ron, the John Deere 8370R. Henry Smith, Radical Red. Travis Wildman, Die Hard Deer. Steve Wishmeyer, Barely Getting By, and Whiskey Wild. And the hometown guy, Russ Yoder. Extra Butter. He's going to pull it out of the store, right, Charles, and put it
out of the showroom.
Out of the showroom. And if you haven't been to Shipshawana and seen Russ's place, it's amazing. Hot Farm, Darren Bomber, I got this. Colton Bomber, Daddy's Money. Did he have his Hot Farm at Ship?
Yeah, they were both there, but I don't remember who was driving them, but they were there.
Brian Carrington, Endless Dollars. Alan Daly, No Name Deer. Ryan Funk, Hooked on a Feeling. Tim Jones, Against the Odds. Scott Miller, Dragline Express. Mike Robbins, Fire in the Hole. Brett Schrader, Addiction. Kevin D. Smith, Buckshot Reloaded. Travis Smith, Cornfield Cadillac. Matt and Kylie Warner, Raging Buck. Everett Wilkerson, Just One More. And then your 3.0 diesel trucks. Mike Burton, Backwoods Evolution. C.W. Cartmel, Most Hated. Corey Frank, Causing Trouble. Stacy Gwynn, Juiced Up. Eric Huck, Slightly Overworked. Jordan Jackson, Billet Steel and Sex Appeal. Calvin Logan, Running Out of Room. Matt Lokes, Night Howler. Brian Shrew, Iron Maiden. Eric Widman, Big Red. Jacob Widman, Under Pressure. Robert Widman, Boosted. So and I know Greg said there was probably a couple changes to that, right? But for most part, that's a hell of a lineup, you guys. Hell of a lineup for the NTPA Spring Nationals in Shipshewana, Indiana, March 17th and 18th. So then again, they've always knocked that out of there. So who are the modified tractors in Florida? I don't know everybody that's coming. But I could give you here. I'm going to put in Mark Kelsey's number for those of you that have questions about Florida. I don't know if I'd call him tonight, but maybe tomorrow. But Mark's trying to grow that facility down there. I know he's got I know there's 3 or 4 mods that are down there. So here's Mark Kelsey's number for the co-work in Fort Wayne. So I think we're good to go with all that. Comments. Yeah, put that on there. Yeah, what a show. I'm pumped. Next week, Adam Kester for sure. I've had a couple polling associations reach out to me, Charles and Cody, about coming on. We're going to give them 15, 20 minutes. If anybody wants to do that, just get a hold of Charles or myself and get it booked. Or get it on there, or Roos or Cody, whatever. We'll make it happen for you guys and do it. We want to share all of it, from garden tractors, antiques, up to Gregg Randall, Ron Stone, and John Mears. It's all good in the hood. It's all good in the hood. So, Cody, any parting words?
No, I'm kind of excited for this year, to be honest.
I am too. Charles?
Same. My calendar is basically set for the summer. I know where I'm going to be every weekend from the end of April to the end of September, and it's ridiculous, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Well said. All of us here at Let's Grow Pulling, we appreciate you. Whether you agree with us or not, we appreciate you. And that's what it's all about. And sometimes we have to agree to disagree, or disagree to agree, whatever that old saying is. But we respect your opinion. But we're doing everything we can to grow this great sport, put more fans in the stands, and get more money back to our pullers. So we will see you next Monday night back here, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Adam Kester is one confirmed guest, but Charles and I will be working on more. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the flip side. Welcome to Beer Money Pulling Team. Sit down, shut up, and hang on.